All right.
Glad I got that political rant out of my system. All right. We all caught that, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, we'll put subtitles on that later.
It's been bleeped out. Sorry, anyway.
Yes. So we are live.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll try to.
Chat's working.
Even though it's a bad. Yeah. So good to see everybody in the chat. Yeah, it's a bad time. Bad time to be talking politics. Bad time for everything. There's a lot of people hurting right now. So my only political comment is just America, shine on, you crazy diamond.
Okay, I don't know what to say to that.
That's my only political comment. It's just sad to see so many people that I care about hurting, now.
Yeah.
So it's not easy, but at the same time, a lot of people that I know were miserable, were suffering, and this is making them feel better. So it's hard to know like where that comes from. It's hard to know.
That was a squeaky ass chair.
People are doing squeaky. But but my drug of choice to escape all of this is tabletop roleplay. Not coffee. Tabletop roleplay. So the escapism should serve us well in the coming months.
Bring it on.
Yes. I was thinking about that too when I was kind of unboxing the all my old roleplay stuff. Is like that is like and that is exactly why tabletop roleplay was developed in the Midwest, because it's the most boring, desolate like place, and you just want to be anywhere else but that.
So you either like get perpetually drunk and like I don't know what you do out there, like ride a combine harvest thing or whatever. I don't know. Right,
but I think that has a lot to do with it. The long winters and escapism fits really well to like not seeing your parents doing particularly well, or kind of the economic decline of the area.
I wonder if anyone has ever done any kind of serious study. Because it would be kind of interesting.
Because going from being obsessed with historical recreation, then to fantasy roleplay, must be something. Let's roll I guess that's more East Coast, right? Ren fairs, like Renaissance fairs.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
That kind of thing.
I can see that.
We can stay with that. So what have you been up to?
Not a lot. Not a lot, but not because of recent current events. Just not having a lot of energy or time to do stuff. The only thing I've been doing is still continuing watching Star Trek Next Generation up to like mid-season 3. So yeah,
nice.
It has made maybe I said this last week. Going through Star Trek Next Generation has made me want to look at the Modifius rules to see how they've done it, because while there is action and there is kind of like a few fights, at least for Next Generation, most of it is resolved by not physical combat. Like maybe somebody throws a punch, or like maybe you got to like restrain someone, but more often than not, the problem is solved by getting information or figuring out how to make your technology do something. So.
Yeah, and I think they do a good job with that in the system, and there's a second edition, so it's been even tweaked even further to like make violence your last option. Like if you're doing that, you've kind of lost, and it's kind of a last resort. Yeah, and I think because Next Generation is the default setting for that system. I'm not sure if that's true of the second edition, but for first edition they said this is the default setting, and you have to tweak it to go original series or any of the other series. But the adventures, the way that they're written, serve that really well too. It's like you can't kill the thing you're trying to figure out. You're trying to figure out something about. It's dangerous. What you're doing is very dangerous, but violence is never really going to help. Anything, right? It's not really going to cause anything to change. You're very impotent. Like the power that you have is impotent in a lot of these cases, because it's more political or negotiation has to happen. So I think that works well. The flavor does work well, because if you're just one, and then I fire my phaser. No.
What phaser?
And there is something I'm forgetting the rule, but there is something to put your phasers not. If your phaser's not on stun, there's something you have to do. You have to actually overcome a morals check kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay. I wonder then how you would have to be like a security officer. Because like the thing about like Worf's role and that, like the security officer does have a role, but it's almost it seems like it's more like proactive. It's like, okay, we're escorting these people to the brig, or like, okay, we're making sure that we're not going to get ambushed here.
Yeah.
And because I guess on the show he always does a good job, like those things don't happen except when it's a plot device, like that episode where like the two Klingons like on the ship escaped, right? But it's like, I wonder if they gave like security officers like a job to do, right? Could be like, okay, if you don't reconnoiter the area, if you don't make sure that all these things happen, like things could get violent, but your job is almost like to prevent violence from happening.
Yeah, and they do that, I think, a lot with the setting. I'm going to screw up the terms, but yeah, there are like, conditions of a setting. So it will be dangerous unless you, like you said, do like have an advanced team or have somebody figure out the situation or come armed, then it does. So they do have those situations. Some of them are very simplistic, like it's dark, you bring a light source.
Sure.
But they do get more complicated like that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's also made me realize that show is basically just Age of Sail.
Oh.
Right? Like, thinking about it, I'm like, why do the spaceships only travel on a single plane? Why does every planet only have like one ruler, right? And then it's like, it's because we're actually island hopping, right? Like, this is Age, like we're on our boat, we go to this place, there's one little island, there's a king, there's a problem, we solve it. And then
that's a good point.
On, right? Yeah. So it's Age of Sail in space.
Right. Yes, and you have your grappling hooks to tractor beam them in.
You do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting, because there is a lot more. So it's definitely coming from like 50s and early 60s sci-fi thinking of that it being we're just on great ships and you're the captain.
I mean, like that, like I said before on social media, I think Star Trek Next Generation, the point was not to depict life in space. The point of every episode was to make some comment about an issue or kind of like advanced plot stuff, and that's why like we've kind of simplified, like, yes, there's always one ruler of the planet, because we're not trying to depict a realistic society here. We're trying to highlight some kind of issue or problem or thing that we're talking about. Right.
Yeah, and I think it was good after the first couple of seasons of it. It stopped trying to mimic the original series and its like simplicity of storytelling and structure and stuff. So it got interesting, and I guess plus you started to know the characters, so that the dynamics between the characters became much more interesting because they were established. And that's a shame now that in this like age of streaming, there's not a chance to do that. There's not a chance to have a couple of bad seasons because you're gone.
Yes, no, you're right. But I thought we were going to bring it to like role-playing games, where I want to go back and watch the first episode, which is the two-parter. I was surprised how early they introduced Q, like right at the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
right.
But everybody, like, that's the first episode, and there are established connections between the characters, but not everybody has one, right? Like Picard is meeting Riker for the first time, but Riker and Troy already have a relationship, right? Like, people have already met each other, and it's not a complete web, but there's enough connections between these characters that you're like, okay, I have a reason to interact with you, apart from the fact we're all on a Federation starship. And I want to go back and look at what all the connections are, because I think that's a really good setup for a game, right? Here's your high-level thing. You're all this group, so you all have a reason to work together, and you have a connection with a few other people. It doesn't have to be everybody, but enough to kind of,
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and the other thing that the 2D20 Star Trek system that I like is the supporting characters.
Okay.
So you can have away parties, and you can, but still, although you can stay on the ship, but unfortunately, I think we found the ship combat not great. So hopefully they've made some changes. Well, watching it again,
it's boring AF, right? Okay, Star Wars is like World War II dogfighting. Right. Like Star Trek is like broadsides. Like you just sit there and fire lasers at each other, right? I'm like, this is boring. I'm like, well, again, because the combat is not really the point, right?
No, yeah, that's true. Yeah, so the roles and stuff, because they try to make the ship a character, and everybody has roles to contribute, but it's like we're not really doing that. So so hopefully they've made some changes. We still have to take a look at that book. It's out in retail now. The full second edition is out.
No, I'll have to look at that.
We'll see.
Anyway. Cool.
Yes.
That's my Star Trek rant. That's about all that's been occupying my time. So
nice.
I'm not a Trekkie. I'm just close.
All right. Good. All right. So should we do this?
I'm all set.
Run out of time.
Yep.
Okay. Welcome to the Weekly. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Chris.
And this week on the Weekly, Stay Frosty Remastered, Deep Cuts, Black Powder and Brimstone, and Ashes Without Number. So we were just talking a bunch of games and a bunch of game systems.
Surprise! We are talking about games.
It was either that or the Critical Role Christmas album. I was like, yeah, we're not going to talk about that.
Jesus, but we did. Jesus, I didn't need to know about that. You know that
it's as bad as you think, too.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
I don't need to hear it. Enough about that. You know that meme, like, well, if I had to hear about this, so do you. No, you don't. Let's just stop that right now. I had to hear about this, and I'm going to keep that pain to myself and be responsible and not spread it around. All right.
Yeah, because you may be a professional voice actor, but that doesn't mean you're a professional singer. Yeah,
No,
we'll leave it at that.
All right.
But yes, so good to see everybody in the chat. And we'll start with Stay Frosty Remastered. So I think we talked about Stay Frosty back in the day, but this is a Melsonian Arts Council production. Future Marines versus whatever the universe can throw at them. So yeah, basically Colonial Marines or the other Marines from the Bug movie.
Oh, the mobile infantry.
Yeah, the mobile
They're
infantry.
They're supposed to have giant suits, but anyway.
Oh yeah, that's right. And so a lot of Game Over Man in the the playthrough of this.
Could you not?
Yes. So this is Benjamin Mara is releasing a kind of a new version, a remastered version they're calling it, of this old school sci-fi TTRPG, and it's built loosely on top of the Black Hack.
Okay.
System. So it means 1d20 equal or above an attribute. Advantage and disadvantage are there. 4 attributes: brains, brawn, dexterity, willpower, and which are generated by 3d6. Lower is better. Then
because you got to roll over.
Yes. And 8 classes: MOS, armor, cyber, engineer, infantry, intelligence, medical, psyops, and special ops.
Brains, brawn, dexterity,
Psionics.
and willpower. Sorry, I'm looking at the attributes.
Oh, sure.
I'm just interested because there's no. I suppose there wouldn't be no social. Well,
Yeah.
no social.
Right.
It's not like you're going to talk to the bugs, so okay.
That's true. No negotiating. Yeah, so they go through in the description on the page what things give you what advances, but you can't be Spec Ops unless all of your stats are 10 or less. So don't roll too high on that 3d6.
That's very old school.
Yeah. And you roll your rank on a d6. 1 to 3, you're a private. 4 to 5, you're a sergeant. And 6, you're a lieutenant. And they use a supply dice system.
Is that kind of like a usage die where like rather than track bullets, you're just like, okay, we used it. If you roll a 1, the die switches down to the lower
it goes
type.
to a d4. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, if you roll a 1 or a 2, it goes down to a d4. You roll a 1 or a 2, it's done.
No, I like that.
And they've got 9 psionic powers to push people around, make their brains bleed, and all that good stuff. Okay. And you can point crawl between nodes, enter dangerous areas, linger too long, or rest in a dangerous place, and something always happens. So some kind of hex crawling, or point crawling. Mechanics, yes. So and they said the system is good for both campaign length or one shots with horror tinged bug hunts.
I do wonder how. Okay, I haven't read this. Mm-hmm. I wonder how a campaign would work out, because I'm thinking about like Alien, right? Okay. Mm-hmm. Like a Colonial Marine campaign of Alien. Okay, you're going to run into something that you're going to have to fight. I wonder, is the campaign just a string of kind of combat things, right? Kind of like a Doom level, right? Like there is a campaign, but it's like, you're here, and now you got to go here, and now you got to here. Right. And maybe you get little pieces of information to some kind of overarching story, but...
And kind of leading to like a boss battle or something to resolve.
So I'm not passing any kind of judgment there. I'm just wondering if it's more that, like descending levels, or if it's somehow kind of like, okay, this mission is a non-combat mission, and how that would get handled.
Oh, right.
I don't know.
Yeah, just kind of investigating. Yeah, right. So this backer kit campaign will also include distance chart, exclusive distance chart, and player tokens, so you can kind of keep track of everything. A frostiness tracker is also an exclusive, as well as a double-sided Stay Frosty poster, and of course a t-shirt. It's backer kit. Come on. Course, yeah. So a Stay Frosty t-shirt printed on organic cotton. Come on.
I hope it's like an ice blue.
Yes, I think it's yellow, actually. I think I saw from that. Yeah. So what you're going to get in this gorgeous hardback book, so the kind of remastered, so just more art too. So there's a bunch of artists too working on it. So illustrated by Andrew Walter, Benjamin Mara, Noah Brown, and the design is Shuyi Zhang. And so they're responsible for the remaster of this, a bloody gorgeous hardback book. So 2 full introductory adventures, rules for making your strike team absolute badasses, vehicles, flamers, psi powers, point crawling, random mission generator, bugs, demons, cyber demons, robo assassins, and zombies.
And cyber demon robo zombies. Okay.
Yes, so you're all set. So yeah, this new edition will have a starter adventure, then published expansions and errata all in this one book. So that's why they're remastering. The kind of everything that's come up with bug fixes and errata have all been included. 30 new pieces of art, a new in-sewn hardback, and a third-party license to let people do their own commercial version, expansions of things. Super mega ultra pile of backer kit exclusives, and we talked about distance chart, frostiness tracker, t-shirts, custom dice. It's all there. So the basic pledge is £22. So I don't have the equivalents. Digital pledge is £12, and retail is $100. So easy peasy to get into. But it's nice to see there's been enough support for this. They thought they should go back and kind of wrap it all up into so now we have the Alien RPG. We have Mothership. We can do aliens, we can do Space Marines and Outgunned, and now Colonial Space Marines, and now we can play Stay Frosty and check which one can do.
Well, I was just
Marines
you brought that up kind of as a joke, but I was just going to point that out, right? If anything, this is proof that you don't have to don't not make something just because a similar version already exists.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Mm-hmm. All Aliens, Outgunned, Mothership, and now Stay Frosty. They're all going to do the things completely, maybe not completely, but they're all going to do something different.
Yes, right.
They're all going to have strengths and weaknesses, and they're going to be better or worse for certain types of games. So they're all just kind of different because they're made by different people. So
yeah.
Where was I going with that? Make your game even because something else already exists.
You're right. Yeah, don't worry that there's something else similar, because it's not you're going to handle it different. What you're going to come up with. Yeah.
And it's just going to feel different, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, the dice pool system of Alien, I think Mothership is roll over D20. Mm-hmm. Outgun is the matches, and Stay Frosty is roll under. Mm-hmm. Those are all going to have a different feel just because they have a different mechanic.
Right. Yeah, no, that's very true. And a nice note to see. So they have an official Discord server if you want to keep up with the updates. And a nice note on their backer kit page: everything is handmade. No AI generation is used, text or art. Robots are for shooting, not cahooting.
I like it.
All right.
So I suppose that could be interpreted as you give a robot a gun. Robots are for shooting.
Right.
Robots are for shooting.
You equip your robots. Okay. Yes. All right. So on to the next game. Yeah. It's a lot of great games. So this is actually a surprise.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, just kind of jumped out of nowhere. So Blades in the Dark gets its first official expansion. So first published in 2017. Yeah, so I
did not kind of realize it was that old.
Yeah.
And I still haven't read the complete book.
So Blades in the Dark, its first official expansion by the creator John Harper. So this is called Deep Cuts. So Blades in the Dark Deep Cuts will give you new factions, new mechanics, and new background options. So it's going to be split into 2 parts. First will be new setting options with 27 factions, 100 heritage and background options, and 13 new innovations in technology for the setting. And then the second part will add 6 modular rule systems, including harm and trauma rules, modified advancement rules, and a new action system. So
it's kind of a split between more setting stuff and more mechanic stuff.
Yeah, and it seems like he wants to let you, since they're calling it modular, let you add and not use things that change. And the comments got very interesting. People are trying to break down these rule changes. And it does seem like it could almost be a second edition of the game, but I think making it modular allows people to add or not add anything. If they're already playing the game and they're happy with it, you don't have to put anything in. So yes, you build your crew of scoundrels and perform various heists and jobs. So a pool-based dice system to resolve your checks, and clocks to move forward with complications and deadlines. So Blades in the Dark helps to spawn the Forged in the Dark game system, which wonderful games like Candela Obscura use, but a lot of other games do. Did the Sprawl, is that?
No, that's Powered by the Apocalypse.
That's Powered by the Apocalypse, because I remember clocks. Yeah, I remember there were clocks.
Yeah, clock. I mean, okay. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I'm not a TTRPG historian, which could actually be a real job. I'm pretty sure that Blades in the Dark did not kind of create clocks. Those already existed in Apocalypse World, like way back in 2015, right? And that's not to say like they might even have existed further back than that, right? Kind of like it's a way to track progress on a multi-stage job, right?
Nice. Yeah, that's right. And because they even make reference to kind of powered by the Apocalypse rules, so that may have been what inspired Blades in the Dark.
I think the currently kickstarting game Argonaut, which is stylized as Argo-0, is forged in the dark. And I backed that because it looked pretty interesting. It's supposed to be like 1980 cartoon mashup with like anime kind of stuff in a very Greek-inspired space campaign, right?
Nice.
Hence Argonaut.
Right?
Anyway.
Oh, cool. Very cool. But so the comments underneath, so this is on itch.io right now. And of course, the first thing people ask is, where can I get the physical copy, a hardback edition? It's like, no.
Oh, really?
Which I think is a good move. And it kind of brings up an interesting point. As much as we're like kind of squirming at what Wizards of the Coast is doing by pushing everybody digital, this allows a small creator to update rules to a popular existing game system without going through. He doesn't have to crowdfund. He doesn't have to go through the expense. He said, "Hey, look, these are the rules. This is what I wanted to do with the game. Here's my new version. Here's new additions to the game," and doesn't have to be the whole thing where you're waiting a year for physical books to come out. So that freedom and that immediate access is pretty great. But it's funny because I don't feel like that about D&D. I'm disgusted.
No, it is kind of funny. I think I don't know. I haven't bought this. I might. I might not, given the fact I haven't read Blades in the Dark completely, right? But based on the Blades in the Dark book, which I have, it's a nice book, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what's often driving, or I would feel that's what's driving the physical version, right? Because physical versions for some people are just easier to flip through at the table, easier to read, right?
Yeah.
So, and I am hoping for a hardback, or at least a physical version of this, because I would get it.
Yeah, and print on demand. It's not the nicest, the best quality, but it is a way to make it physical. So some kind of comments underneath this release. So John Harper kind of changed the DNA of Blades in the Dark. So this is kind of a 2E edition. One of the commenters says. So there's a bunch of lore as added to the game and tinkers with a bunch of the rules systems. So, for example, the original Blades in the Dark, player characters made action rolls, the GM establishing position and effect. Then success or not would create some kinds of consequences. Now the action roll is replaced by a threat roll. So players roll, if you roll to see if the players roll a sufficient amount to deal with any threat. They roll one die for each action, dot on their action, and look for the highest, and then you can add dice to your pool for additional threat and assign the die result to each thing that you're facing.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, so it's changing the mechanics and I think obviously making that modular. So if you don't like how that's working, then don't do it. So you can also assign a fail threat. For rare, it was a much more rare and special thing. Any threat that is not dealt with will then result in effects and consequences. And there are 4 levels of impact, ranging from limited to extreme. Everything from harm to progress clocks and narrative developments can be triggered by this. So a lot of long-term players are saying, "Whoa, wait a minute."
But okay,
yes,
I'm gonna have to go pick this up.
No, I got you.
You got me.
Yes,
right. I probably would have picked it up anyway because I like John Harper's design stuff, and I was following them like before they came out with Blades in the Dark and saw kind of like the previous game that led to this. But anyway, I have to feel that he made it very clear that these are optional modules you can plug in.
Yes, right.
So people complaining, this is 2E. No, it isn't. It's like additional material that, going from the action roll where you, the character, are being proactive, let's see how well you do, higher means better, versus, this is the threat roll. We're going to build it based on how kind of establish how dangerous this thing is, and this is how well you deal with what's already happening.
Right.
That change really changes the tone of the game from proactive characters to kind of more reactive characters. So I can see this like it's a module. you go from active, heisty characters to more, the world is real dangerous. You're reacting to all the stuff that's coming at you, right? So it's a very different type of game. You don't have to use it, right? Is what I'm picking up.
And allowing the players to decide what they resolve can kind of match their role play a little bit more. So I know I could slip past him, I could pick this lock. I don't think I could talk the guard, talk my way past this guard. So let me assign my lowest score and fail that.
Or I like that. Or as someone who's a big fan of, I'm blanking on what you call it, where it's like limited resources to face kind of a threat. You're like, it's that tough choice of, oh man, one of these is going to resolve.
Right.
Which one is it going to be, right? I like those choices. So
yeah. So the complaint that this leaves behind the simulationist vibe of the action role for a more narrative approach. Yeah, people saying, it's different. It's a change. So there's more fate language in the conflict rules with harm levels and trauma conditions, and they're also saying this to some degree. The hard move that GMs made in the Apocalypse World Engine games on a 6 or less has been added back into the Blade rules now. Okay. So yeah, interesting. So advancement is also way slowed down in this new version. So the PCs won't get super good at avoiding bad stuff, which I think fits with assigning just accepting different threat, and codifying the best practices for 10 years of so he's saying 10 years of gameplay. This is the best practices and what he wants to see in the system. And of course, everybody in the comments, isn't this a different game? Come on,
yes,
dude.
It is.
Deal with
None
it.
of which you have to use.
Right. So I'll put a link to the itch.io page. It's only $10. So $10, and you can get the complete bundle of everything released for Blades in the Dark for $27. So get original. I think it's both games. Yep. So $27 gets you both. And this is a 118-page expansion, so it's quite a bit. Yeah. So
probably 6 by. Yeah. No, I don't know if it's 6 by 9.
Oh,
it might be 6 by 9. Ish. Yeah.
Right. And so a lot of additional stuff. So yeah, if you are interested, it's well worth checking out. Read through the comments just to see, like, if you've already played it. Yeah. But some people, they're established as saying, I'm seriously played this game for all this time, and so opinions are it's really interesting how people, and it's not all grumbling and complaining. Okay. It's nice analysis, and people are saying, this I would definitely want this, maybe not so much. So it'll give you, and for $10, it's definitely worth checking it out. And John Harper replied directly to one of the comments and said, "No plans for that at the moment," meaning physical books. Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. So we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait for that. But of course, you could always send the PDF to Lulu yourself and privately produce your own personal copy. That's always an option when people release PDFs. Although if the PDF isn't optimized for printing, it's going to get weird. The margins and stuff are going to get weird. And on to our next game.
Yeah. Games galore, this one.
Yes, so Free League has announced Black Powder and Brimstone. So this is a new RPG compatible with the Mork Borg RPG. That's why Free League is releasing it. So we're going to get this hit retail, and I imagine that this is a typo. Yeah, March 18th, 2025, I imagine, unless it's been out for several months. Yep. But what we're doing in Black Powder and Brimstone is you take on the roles of desperate adventurers stuck in the middle of a conflict, and you're trying to survive or possibly profit. So it's a standalone game laden with gunpowder and witchcraft. So action-packed, rules-light gothic horror and swashbuckling. So you can wield powerful weapons and magic that warp reality, with tons of character options, items, locations, adventures, and enemies to encounter. And really nice illustration. And the designer and the illustrator are the same person. So that was cool to see. That's pretty impressive if you can pull that off, to not only design your own game, but illustrate it beautifully. So that is Benjamin Tobbit is the creator, the designer, and illustrator. Complete standalone. Let's see. So an art-heavy old-school game. So I like the swashbuckling adventure and gothic folk horror in an unholy blend. So lots of information for a setting, and of course the very easy to use Mork Borg mechanics.
I'm honestly getting about borged out.
You're getting borged out.
Sorry.
We got all borged out, and we haven't even gotten in all the cyborg stuff yet.
I haven't. I mean, okay, Mork Borg, cyborg,
pirate Borg.
It was funny, and then it's like pirate Borg, and you're like, okay, nothing about into the game. You're just like,
Okay,
there's no Borg in Pirate, right?
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yes, and there's tons of Borg titles
There
now
is.
for content. But yes, it looks really nice. I mean, it's art heavy is nice. But it's not the same aesthetic. It's the book itself is a cleaner layout.
Like you can actually read and use?
Yeah, maybe more usable layout. So not so like illustrator designer, graphic designer heavy, but really nice illustrations that are evocative of this setting, like a witchcraft and swashbuckling setting. So yeah, so definitely check that out. It'll retail for $49.99, and
so I'm imagining a fairly large hardback book.
Yes, I think it's going to be they don't talk about page count, and we'll get more details closer we get. And it doesn't look like it's going to crowdfunding or anything. It's just a release.
Well,
so
that's then more respect for them if they're not going to crowdfund it. Just we're pretty convinced this game is going to do well.
Right. Yeah, that means Free League. Yeah, Free League likes what they see. All right, and one more, so these are some pretty big designers that have pretty established stuff going on. Yeah, so we got another Kevin Crawford. Oh yeah, you're at the you're coming up.
I'm at the end. I'm a little footnote, a tiny little blurb, right? Yeah.
Yes. So Ashes Without Number. So a new old school post-apocalyptic RPG. So the Kevin Crawford's Without Number series gets another one, and I'm always really conflicted about these because these are really useful books, but they're outside of America. There is no good way to get these. Right. It's really, really difficult because this is a Kickstarter, and they're already raised over $200,000. So obviously people are into it. And what's nice is these are great toolkits. So even if you don't want to play this style of game, the world building, like tables and mechanics that are presented for each of these genres, each of these settings, is great. Great to use for for your another game system and your own setting. So a post-apocalyptic adventure, a desolate world full of lost grandeur. So it's of course the Without Number games are kind of old school, easy to pick up D20 2D6 based games, more streamlined of course than the greatest role playing, not the best. Yes. And so they so more streamlined, and so you're basically this will allow you to set up the world and characters and just kind of turn them loose in kind of a sandbox style. And a nice from this review, a nice thing that the writer said is, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend any of the Without Number games as a way to level up any of your RPGs, just based on the setting. And a quote from the page, Ashes Without Number is a tabletop role-playing game for the end of the world, whether as civil collapse, alien invasion, zombie uprising, or post-apocalyptic wasteland. The game is built to give the GM tools they need to carve out their own special slice of hell.
Unless it's actually about hell. Okay.
Yeah, right. And so this is the Sinomier Games. They're the publishing, the company that they use. So yeah, you're getting a. So of course, this is basically a genre-specific system toolkit. So you can scrap build. There's rules for scrap building gear, ancient technology, dangerous diseases, and zombies and wasteland marauders. And if you back the campaign, you'll get instant, immediate beta access to the in-development game. So the end can come with lead and warring banners. The end can come with plague and unquiet death. And the end can come with runes and misshapen flesh.
Gross.
So, yeah, choose your poison, literally. And so a lot of... so this is... I think... I'm not sure if this is the order, but the first one I was aware of was... Stars Without Number, and then which is the sci-fi setting, Worlds Without Number is the fantasy setting, and more recently Cities Without Number, the cyberpunk setting. Okay. And that was crowdfunded a few years ago, and that was the one I was just like, I've got the first two, and I'm just like, I can't, because I'm doing the print on demand. So there's a couple of options. So they do an offset print, sewn, beautiful hardcover of these books, but you got to be in North America.
Right.
So this system, just to reiterate the Without Number system, 6 attributes, hit points, saving throws, and the kind of traditional RPG elements are in the system. But you are free in like creating this campaign to like pick the one that feels correct in the setting that you want to play. And the other thing that it said on the Kickstarter page that I liked is these books are built to be used, not simply read. So there are specific practical procedures, lists, and tables designed to give you straightforward methods of creating your content. So and then in the book, in the Ash's book, there is 3 specific kind of campaign genres: the mutant wasteland, zombie infested deadlands, and then a near future societal after the fall.
Oh, the last one's a bit close to home.
Yeah, right. whoa, maybe skip that.
Mutant wasteland, okay. Right, let's play Thunder the Barbarian.
Right. Yeah, so similar to what we've been doing with Oathsworn. Or Ironsworn, sorry. Ironsworn is, we're encountering things, and then we're saying, okay, what kind of settlement is this? Yep. What's the deal? So you can roll things like there's buried treasure in a failed community, and then find out, what that is as you're building things.
So doesn't have to be, but it lends itself to being procedurally generated.
Yeah, right. You could probably do that with tables as it is. Yeah, you could probably sandbox it and say, okay, here's what you're coming across. Yes, you can do it that way.
The microscopic approach where you kind of like start small.
Oh, right, and kind of build out. And so you can get a DRM-free PDF of the final game with a freebie code that will add to your drive-through library. So okay. I guess because it's a free, it's going to get around any DRM. I guess it might be watermarked though if it's drive-through.
If it's drive-through RPG, it probably is watermarked, which annoys me a little bit. But
right. And the Far Wanderer Pledge will give you a print-on-demand copy through drive-thru. So this is what I've gotten because the other way is just impossible. But it's an at-cost book, so there's not any markup, and it's usually under $30. Yeah. With the final one, print-on-demand, usually being around $80. So this is a good. You guys remember their costs went up dramatically. Yeah. So if you're interested in the book at all, and you can only kind of really go in for the print on demand, this is a really good way to get a decent discount. Although they do occasionally go on sale. So the offset print book is going to be available only to the Neo-American backers, and it's going to be a Smith sewn binding with glued. Mm-hmm. Glued folios, bundled pages, folded over and sewn in the spine. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be wonderful, and you can't get it outside of the U.S. And I guess I could, but then have it sent out to get to Japan. It's eventually going to be ridiculous. Yeah. So they're saying this. So digital awards, digital and print on demand are offered because the rise of international shipping has sadly curtailed the number of international destinations that they can ship to. So the books are carefully packed and going to be well shipped, but they just can't go everywhere that they need to go. So U.S. backers are fortunate in this, but you can beat the hell out of the print on demand and not feel bad about it. Right. Especially.
Well, I was just going to say like a sudden idea, like with the increase in international shipping, mm-hmm. and I'm sure it's only going to get worse. Mm-hmm. Right? I wonder if there would be a tier or. You wouldn't have to, or I wonder if designers would start saying, you know what? Here are PDFs or files or whatever mm-hmm. intended for printing. Right? Because they're like, okay, as graphic designer, as someone kind of working in print, you lay things out in a certain way, and mm-hmm. then you package it and send it off to the printer. That's often not the PDF that gets shared, right? The PDF that is the flattened kind of. That might be an option. Maybe not everything, right? Because then people will just reverse engineer it. But it'd be like at a certain price or at a certain tier, like,
interesting,
okay, here are the files, kind of optimized for a certain kind of print things. Find a local place to print it yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
To save on shipping.
And with enough interest, that might be interesting to set up. Okay, this is the UK company that's going to publish this book. This is the Japanese or Hong Kong or whatever whatever would be local to Asia or I guess Australian. Yeah. It'd be English language.
Or just if there were enough kind of that would you have to do it on like a Discord or something, like enough regional people, kind of interested in the thing, like, okay, I have an in with a printer, or at least I know of a printer locally. Mm-hmm. How many people kind of want this thing? And
and if they could do some kind of short run, and no, that's possible. It's just a shame, and this has been the case for these books for a while now, and so I always just I go on the print on demand cost at cost because it's a good deal, but you're just not getting the full thing. They're really nice looking books. People have flipped through them like, oh no. But anyhow, so that is a lot of games to add to the list. Huh? Yes, but a lot of good stuff and some surprises from established designers.
Yeah, wow. Let's see, that's 10 years for Blades in the Dark.
Yeah. Yes, so you've got some. So and it's a real shame now that that Not Another Multiverse, that VTT, the pixel art VTT for Blades of the Dark died because it would be revitalized now. Like there would be new people, headed there, and there'd be new incentive to we've added the new mechanics in. So yeah, that's a shame. I can't believe all that work. I hope it's being hosted somewhere on a private server or something. Someone saved it, Yeah, because all of that work to create that whole world for Blades in the Dark, and then it just, didn't make money, delete. Yeah, too bad.
Welcome to modern society. Modern capitalistic society. Did that make us shareholders money? No. Well, then it's dumped. Get out of here. Don't care.
Yeah, out of here. Yeah. You've been doing this pre-production for 4 years. Yeah, we canceled the project. Yeah.
Yep. And we wrote it off as tax.
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually, it's a tax break for us, and it's too bad for you.
Don't understand how that works, but I hate it. Yep. Anyway. So
that will do it. So for interesting entries, a couple of crowdfunders and a couple of just releases. So $10 you can pick up.
It's funny. Like right away. I saw that, and I kind of bulked at the $10 price, right? And as someone who tries to make games and makes PDF, I was like, that's a reasonable price for 168 pages, or it would be a reasonable price just because I like this designer and want to continue to support them what they do. And I still had that knee-jerk reaction of $10.
Yeah, that's just a PDF, but $9.99.
So not $9.99. It's weird that even I am not immune to that kind of thing, where the perceived value of a PDF is still much lower than it should be, right?
Right.
Because the amount of work that went into producing the files to make that PDF, not that different, a hair's off from making them for a print book. So why do I look at that and go, okay, sure, $29.99 or $30 for a book? Yeah, okay. Ooh, $10.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, I feel frustrated about comics with that same way. Like a digital comic, I'm like, this has no value, but it's it's the same amount of work.
The only thing that they basically didn't do was hit print, right?
Yes, yeah. So it is really frustrating, but I think we've been really soured by that because of early ebook experience, like Amazon's price fixing and stuff with ebooks. I think it's really kind of distorted our thinking about digital and physical.
Probably.
And all of the all you can eat, kind of like subscriptions that give you unlimited access to libraries and stuff. It's really screwed up our thinking about the labor that goes into physical.
Probably now media. With the AI generated slop books that come out where you're 99 cents for this thing.
Yes, but. That'll do it for this week. Where can people find you?
On Blue Sky, Instagram, select things on Facebook groups. It's Hivemind, HYVEMYND, and I don't know what I'm talking about.
More next gen, maybe?
No.
Oh, you're not doing that on social media?
Only because it kind of I wanted to do a review of every episode, but I figured that would be kind of boring. And also I've been doing 2 or 3 episodes a night. Depending on how but I might do that again. Right? It's either that or I've been going back to just reading portable war games or ancient war games, but nothing really to share. Hopefully that'll change soon.
Cool.
But, how about you?
Good. I am going to be doing a November stream. I don't know, Thanksgiving related. So for my single panel gag cartoon, so abuse cartoons on YouTube and Twitch. So subscribe to one of those and get notified when the live stream goes. And I draw the whole month's worth of cartoons and eat a bunch of stuff from Japanese convenience stores, which there's not going to really be anything. I guess it'll start being the winter flavors of things are going to start coming out. Hot sweet potatoes. I don't know. I guess sweet potatoes have been out since fall. Yeah. So, but we will see. We'll see what I can find. I still have a few leftovers from Halloween too. So I have some little gummies that look like brains and stuff. So we'll get into that. And if you like what we're doing here, though, on the weekly, please consider becoming a weekling.
The strongest of all supporters.
You could do that on patreon.com/upturntable. And just let us know what you want to see more of. If you like hearing about a bunch of new games, or you'd rather complain about Wizards of the Coast or Games Workshop, whatever floats your boat, let us know. And feel free to drop us links to stories and stuff that you found interesting concerning tabletop or board gaming. Yep. And upturntable.com is where you can find everything that we're up to. We tried to record a session of Zone Wars. So Nick was here and we did multi-camera. I don't know. We're going to try to, So I'll put a link. Whoever gets it done first, as far as editing it, it sounds pretty good. Looks pretty good, but I don't know how it's going to go together because it was we just kind of improvised a setup. But yeah, so it'll either be on the Zombie Sashimi YouTube channel or Upturned Table or both. I don't know, but yeah, it's fun as hell. And once we were like, we turned the cameras on, we just played the game, no like screwing around. And because we had played it before, so it went pretty quick. It was nice to see like a game you just get through it. You're not like, oh wait, I'll be right back. And yeah. So it's like when you really get focused and the cameras and mics are on and you're playing the game.
It's almost like you're professionals.
Yeah, right. It was. I was surprised like how smooth it went. But that game's so fun because it's got really random, effects and things that are going on in the zone. So it swings things really far. It was like I looked like I was like falling apart, and then the world changed, and all of a sudden things were totally turned around.
I'm gonna have to see that because sometimes you want a game to play out like, okay, I know what's going to happen, but then if it's too much of that, you're like, why am I playing this? Right. We're done. Versus like, okay, things are completely random and I can't really predict what's going to happen, but that keeps things kind of interesting and until the end.
Right. Yeah. And the scenarios kind of either lean into that or kind of do make it more strategic, where the attacker and defender or the caravan kind of stuff or whatever. Or some of them are like, monster apocalypse. So basically all the creatures in the zone are just coming after you, and it helps build, so similar to like, Frostgrave, where you're just like picking up things and getting off the table, it has that dynamic as well.
Nice. Oh, I just saw.
Yes.
Hodag RPG is in the chat. The illustrator for Brighthammer.
Oh, excellent. Hey.
Hodag.
Excellent. Yes. Oh, yeah. So there's a link to Chris's itch.io. One of the designers and games we're mentioning this week. And yes, so feel free to check that out. Yeah, we haven't played. And you need where's the cyberpunk setting?
I haven't even played it.
So you're going to do that. Where's the cyberpunk or perhaps the post-apocalyptic?
You know what? Funny. Like I was just thinking, like from watching Star Trek Next Generation, I'm like, okay, how would you do a ship with the 4 stats I've used for Brighthammer? Like, what would those mean? If you translated it over to a ship, because using a ship as the character is pretty interesting. So I've kind of been thinking about that, and I always get stuck on influence, where I'm just like, what the heck would influence do, or what would it be? Because when it's people, it's how well you interact with people and how you kind of like sway them to do things. And I'm like, what would that be for a ship? Like sensors, or like being able to kind of project something. That's where I get kind of stuck.
Interesting.
But,
anyway,
I'll think of something.
Yeah, very cool. Yep. All right, so that will do it for this week. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll be back next week.
Later, mortals.
Goodbye. See if chat, maybe I have to turn chat back on. Oh, no, there it is. Well, yeah, we finally got back to it. So I hope everyone's doing good. Yes, banter has concluded. Ramble incoming. It was fun just having a list of games to kind of go over for this week instead of. I was tempted to complain about because it's available, like you can play the digital files embedded on their website. The Critical Role Christmas album is awful. I don't know. I guess if you're a fan, you're completely blind to it. But yeah, it's a lot of voice actors that can't singing, and it's Christmas themed fantasy. It's horrible, horrifying. Orcus. Oh, nice to see lots of people in the chat. Yeah, so right, we've got a time difference now, right? It doesn't happen for us, so it's gonna happen just for you guys. Sorry about that. But yeah, good to see everyone. So Matt and Calerion and Rob, yeah, good to see you, Rob, and your briny pal stopped by. Nice. Yeah, it's funny. Chris is watching Next Generation. We got to try some Star Trek. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, there is a. We did play the Quick Start, the kind of Romulan surprise Quick Start. I noticed that was up on the channel as well. There's so much stuff we've done that I completely forgot about. Rob was saying I think the original Dragonlance Adventures had character settings like that. So Star Trek. Oh, background and relations. Oh, interesting. That's a good idea to instantly, and maybe just kind of based on the novels and stuff, they thought that was a good idea. Yeah, so we'll be an hour. Yeah, we'll be an hour earlier, and this is the later time because we were doing like 12:30 sometimes, but it's been easier because Chris sometimes has like a meeting, like a 12:50 meeting or whatever. So 1:30 here in the afternoon has been working well. But that's going to be an hour earlier for you guys still. The wonderful time change. Oh yeah, the that Bounty Hunter expansion for Mothership does look fun. Yeah, Bounty Hunters would be really, really fun to play in one of those settings. Oh, Carolina, no. Did I see? Did I see your reply? I've seen a couple. Yeah, I think finally the notifications seem to be working, so that's a good. That's a good thing. Nice. Yeah. So, yeah, hoping for a hardcover. Yeah. Yeah, I hope so too. I hope that at least they set up the PDF so they can just do print on demand through drive through. But yeah, the that's a nice book. That original Blades in the Dark is a nice object itself. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame it's gotten associated with that Kindle Obscura, the blandification of Blades in the Dark. Oh, hey James, how's it going? Yeah. D&D wants you in the system. Yeah, that was really funny because I felt that very much. I'm like, oh, it's such a great time that designers can just put stuff out there on their their itch account, their itch.io page, put stuff out there, and here's an expansion. It's been 10 years in the making, and now my game has these modular rules. Instead of having to generate hype for a crowdfunder and make just enough money to get it sent out to people all over the world. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, Orcus just finished a traveler session. I think that's something Matt's been Matt's helping for. Hopefully that we get to one of these days. Yes. Yeah, the Brimstone game looks great. And because they have the page layouts on the announcement page, and it looks great. It's not like the heavily grungy graphic design like that, death metal graphic design. There's some really nice evocative illustrations, like character illustrations stuff, and the page layouts are really nice. Lots of character art. So yeah, but I can't imagine the workload of doing that. I guess there's a couple of people like the mech fighting game that's escaping me. But that's a designer illustrator as well. Nice. So yeah. Oh, Hodag is talking about doing a game with a US print run and then a UK print run. Yeah, that makes the most sense. A new version of Hypertrench. Very cool. Oh, send if you can to what is it? Upturned Tabletop at Gmail. Hodag, send a link. I'd like to promote your stuff just on our in our description on the video. That's very cool. Yeah, so Hodag did the cover illustration for Brighthammer, or I think there's just the cover, but so if you're curious, I think Chris mentioned that as well. Nice. No, I haven't seen Dude It's Vero lately, even on the cartoon stream. Abyss, how's it going? Yeah, we were in early. Bounty Hunter would be very cool. Oh, interesting. Oh, the Dragonlance Adventures predates the novels. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. They had that in mind. Yes. So you're an hour late is really late now that we started an hour early. Oh, that was one thing I meant to bring up with Chris. I noticed at the 100 yen store, so our equivalent of like the dollar store here, they were selling the polyhedral dice sets. Like for 100 yen, you get like the 7 basic dice. And they just started. These are not them, but these are the kind of the quality of it. So they're that kind of marbleized plastic and decent because they do gold in they paint in gold on the purple die and white on the green die. So they're very readable. And I just saw they're doing a 24-sided die and a 30-sided die, just kind of randomly, and they're sold individually. So I wonder where that came from, because the 24 doesn't look like the DCC 24. It's got kind of a different shape to it, but it may just be like a mold that some Chinese factory or whatever was producing. So the same people that did those dice are doing that, but that was really weird. So there's a few we're still missing, but you can almost do the dice chain of Dungeon Crawl Classics now with cheap dollar store dice. That's it's getting pretty dangerous, because I think that's probably one of their big sellers. Yeah, that was weird. A 30 set. So I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe there are like Japanese RPGs or something that have D30s and D24s, but yeah, they just randomly showed up. I'm like, wow, that's funny. But they do, and they match the sets that they've already made. So yeah, that's pretty close. Oh, halfway to the dice chain. But yeah. What a time. So we're getting back to hopefully, if everything goes well. There's always unexpected complications, but outgunned. We're gonna maybe conclude our Miami Heat. I'm gonna see how long we can drag Matt out into running this the first movie of the trilogy. But we'll be getting back to outgunned hopefully tomorrow. And I got to remember to be. It's an hour. I go an hour later because it's an hour earlier. So I got to remember the starting time is now different. So have those notifications ready, and we'll get back to it. Yeah, sorry we skipped. We had some sudden illnesses. Will was just recovering, and then Terry got sick, so it wasn't worth kind of struggling through, and no backups. Oh, Matt's biting his nails. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun to get back to it. We got a lot of stuff to play too, so we'll have to finish up some of these games so we can start some other stuff. And it's good we have our Ironsworn backup, so we can feel that'll just show up occasionally. I don't think we'll plan that because we kind of make it up as it goes. So it'll be something if a player's out or whatever that we'll resort to. But that's been fun. I've liked. I like how that, because we did that. We did kind of that world building session for the the fantasy RPG that Matt wrote, that he wrote the Session 0 system for. I'm totally blanking on it. And that was fun. So I like doing that when we did the Session 0 world building. So Ironsworn's working out really well. A lot of fun, creative ideas. Oh, K5, nice. Oh, I gotta look at my combined chat. What am I missing here? They redesigned the website for the restream.io. So yikes, it's all stupid. It's less easy to use. I don't know if hopefully it doesn't crash as much or whatever. But we'll see. Nice. Wasn't there a Schwarzenegger movie called was that Red Heat? The one where he was the Russian with Jim Belushi? Yeah. I can't remember. He played Red Heat. Yeah, he played the Russian cop. Of course, why do I remember a Jim Belushi movie? Nobody should remember any Jim Belushi movies. Red Heat. Laughing into the mic. Miami Vice and Red Heat. Yeah, we could combine those into great. So it'll be fun. Yeah, it'll be fun to get back. Oh, that's right. Yes. That's right. K5 was I super chatted me, I guess, the tip me to eat the spicy candy on the Halloween stream. That's right. Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, that was a cute thing, I think, to make it a little kid friendly. So they had a bag of they weren't kind of gummies, they were more like Starbursts, and they were folded over, obviously, so there's like a little fruit gummy inside, and they were color coded to the flavor. So there was like a grape and some kind of like soda flavor and a peach or apple or something, a couple of different flavors, but one of them had a spicy thing inside, just like the spicy chemical pretty much. And but they had little clues on the flap. You know, when they have the little sealed candies, there's usually a little flap for sealing it around, and under the flap they printed kind of a warning, a very kind of vague warning of this one might be a little bit, more than you can handle, so that it doesn't catch the kids off guard. And so maybe it makes it more fun too, because if you read that, you don't know for sure, but you kind of think, oh, this is probably a spicy one. So to make that whole thing a little more kid friendly. Yeah, that was fun. But that was K5. Yeah, K5 doing that. Last action hero. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Yeah, the whole RPG is Last Action Hero. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's right, because it's flick based, so we could literally jump through. Oh, that might be a fun if we could come up with a gimmick or some reason. Like, I think it'd be fun to be for Outgunned to be playing actors, and your actor name, your character changes, but your acting name stays the same. So we could play with stuff like when Arnold plays some, like, suburban father, like it's this really weird. His names are always so funny, with his Austrian accent. So we'd have you'd have a heavy accent, but you have to play whatever character is part of the movie. So we'd have very miscast players in different character roles. But that would be funny. Just to really lean on the movie aspect of it. So yeah, we were playing various action genres, but you're the same actor every time. Actually, we might end up doing that accidentally just because of the kind of characters we're going to choose to play. When we create characters, we might keep making the same type in different genres. But yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun to kind of fall through a bunch of have a weird run of of summer blockbusters, just not no connection to the genre or whatever, and just everybody has to play. Okay, in this movie we need a wife, and we need a wife and a husband that are spies, and their kid is and we just have to squeeze into those roles. Yeah, the names are hysterical for his for his characters in all of those True Lies and all of those all the movies. Yep, just a regular American Joe. Yes. But yeah. Let's see if somebody had to make a list. Oh, sorry about all the typing. Had to make a list of his character roles. Mark Comiskey, Julius Benedict, Alan Dutch Schaefer. Oh, it's one of those ad riddled. Yeah, he was Mark Comiskey in Raw Deal. Ivan Danko in Red Heat. Captain Ben Richards in Running Man. Colonel John Matrix in Commando. Julius Benedict in Twins. Yeah, Dutch, and that's it. It's just a lousy top 10. Yeah, there's a lot of the other ones, and especially kind of his later career, they got even sillier. It would be fun. Is Terminator in either of the flicks? I can't remember if there's a genre that's specifically Terminator in any of the Outgunned flicks collections. It probably wouldn't be hard. And I guess you'd all know what you were up against. You just have to convince each other. One would be the waitress, who's the mother of the mother or father of the futures, the savior of the human race. Yeah. Yeah, Terminator's early 80s. Just barely 80s, right? 80, 81. So he had a dream in the 70s of Terminator, even though he was just dreaming of an episode of Outer Limits or whatever that was. Didn't he get sued? I think James Cameron got sued, or the producers of Terminator got sued for using the super soldier in the future idea. Yeah. We can wing it. Yeah, we can just. I'm sure there's a genre where we can just take whatever the big bad is and just make it a Terminator. Yeah. It's Yeah, I guess that premise though is pretty simple. Like there's not a lot to move around with. Like Ghostbusters, there's like a huge variety of stuff you can do, and Alien and stuff. There's a lot of different things in Harry Potter and that kind of stuff. It's more open ended. But Terminator is just there's a machine trying to kill you. Yeah, but I like the Nightfall Terminator, especially their first one. They only had the license for kind of the first movie, and then the War Against the Machines, like the Dark Horse Comics kind of stuff. So that's probably what you'd be playing is the future, the 2029 or whatever it was, future setting where you're just surviving. You're just the surviving armies of humanity against the against the Terminator army, or the Cyberdyne army. Yeah, but it really goes that series really goes badly. Yeah, so I've been obsessed with the so I brought back my American Laserdiscs and looked at kind of the 80s stuff and stuff that's like never even made it to DVD, and then some of the collections. And so yeah, on Laserdisc, Star Wars is only 3 movies. Indiana Jones is only 3 movies. Unfortunately, I think Alien is 3 movies. But if Alien was 2 movies and Terminator was 2 movies on Laserdisc, that would be perfect. Yeah, I think that might be right though. I don't think Terminator 3, I think that was a little too late for Laserdisc. And I was just listening to something that was talking about the Terminator series. That is a real heartbreaker that the actor that played John Connor, the young John Connor in T2, Terminator 2, I can't think of his name. He was supposed to be in Terminator 3, and he was supposed to be the same kind of character that kind of washed out, like, drug addicted or washed out, whatever. But I guess he had a condition that he had to clean up. He had to sober up before. And so, okay, I got to be clean for the 6 months or however long it's going to take to shoot this movie. So I'm going to go out the night before. I'm going to one more night of drugs and drinking, and yeah, totally screwed up. I don't know if he overdosed or whatever, but like totally screwed himself up. So he blew the deal for being in Terminator 3. But it would have been good because they wrote that character to kind of fit what happened to that actor, and that might have been a turnaround for him. But yeah, unfortunately, he had to have that one last night to celebrate before he cleaned himself up, and it was a little too much, and so didn't make it to the next day on set, or whatever exactly happened. Yeah, but that's too bad. Yeah, I think the casting on that Terminator 3 was pretty terrible. I think the whole premise was just over by then. They really didn't know what to do, and I guess to make that happen, Arnold Schwarzenegger like put a bunch of his own money into it so they could afford that action scene with the construction crane or whatever at the end, or the truck with the crane on it at the end, or the wrecking ball or whatever it was on the bridge, because otherwise they didn't really have any action set pieces. There was like one chase in the movie. So yeah, that's crazy. And that was right around the time like he was like governor of California shortly after that came out. So very weird timing. Sorry. Yeah, I was just been watching some random 80s movies stuff just because of the Laserdisc stuff, and yeah, they were talking about that's really, really heartbreaking though for that actor. Never quite recovered. Orca's sister name is John Connor. But survived the changing timeline. Yeah, they've really screwed that up too. I mean, it was never like a real solid foundation to the story, but they really have made Terminator unwatchable, and something you really can't go back to, because once they start doing that stuff where we're resetting it, this takes place here, or this this is actually the 3rd movie, and so the 3rd, 4th, and 5th movie don't exist, or that when they do stuff like that, it's pretty broken. But yeah, good to see everybody in the chat. Yeah, with the time change, I was worried things are going to get screwed up, and plus the everything that's going on in the U.S. right now. Yikes! So I got some nice distance from all of that. Yeah, crazy. But yeah, it was fun to I'm glad there were so many good games that were coming out. There was nothing that I wasn't sure of or whatever. Everything is like was pretty exciting announcements and things that people were pretty hyped on. That really the without number, that really stinks that it's hard to get a hold of the actual offset printed books, because it ends up being like, I think, over $100 to get it, to get that, then have it forwarded from the US for me. So not a good deal. And it's nice, the print at cost on demand stuff. So like I was saying, you don't feel bad about kind of beating those books up, because they're you just print another one if if pages fall out or whatever. But yeah, even those have gotten expensive. Yes, I'm mainly agreeing that the first Terminator was a good movie. Yeah, right. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, Rob is saying, D&D is kind of like the Terminator series. The subsequent versions are just like, let's not even keep doing this anymore. Carolina's asking what's Japan's policy on refugees. I'm not like super familiar with it, but they're pretty limited. Like, they're not as generous as Europe or even other Asian countries. They're we're a tiny island, we don't have a lot of space, but I do know that there's a pretty significant community of Kurdish, like, so Christian, Middle East Christians that are around the Tokyo area. So there's been some isolated. There wasn't any like big influx during like with the beginning of the Ukraine war or anything. So Japan is always a little, and it was funny too, because there was a funny statistic that they said during the kind of Hong Kong takeover, like the kind of police action or whatever you want to call that, when they crushed the democracy movement in Hong Kong and kind of took that over, like, reclaimed that. They said so all of the people that would want to leave Hong Kong, there were enough empty houses in Japan to literally house everybody that would want to flee Hong Kong. But it's crazy. Oh yeah, no politics. But I thought it was Japan is pretty conservative about it. They're not the best at their immigration policies and stuff. They have policies. They want you to be useful. They have like a point system for for the visas that requires that you score points if, like, you're a doctor or a celebrated violinist in an orchestra, from a famous orchestra or something. There's a lot of funny ways you can kind of jump the line in applying for visas and stuff in Japan. I'm not super familiar with it, but it's pretty funny. But yeah, they're not saving the world. But that didn't happen. And also the empty houses in Japan are in pretty brutal condition. They've been sitting, decades empty, because there's a lot of like rural areas and stuff where, when the people leave, when the kids leave, and then the older parents die, the houses just sit there. They're kind of, owned by the family, but they don't really have any value. The Japanese real estate market isn't great, especially for anything outside of the big cities. So you're not gonna be able to sell it, and it's gonna need rebuilt. And they've also had that strange law too, where in Japan, the people that own the land and the people that own the building on the land don't have to be the same person. So that also makes things, so they treat the lot and the building as very separate things. I don't know. Yeah, well, if things continue, the little taste I had of the US sorry, little taste I had of the U.S. Just recently. It didn't make me want to come back anytime soon. I mean, I definitely want to come back and visit visit family, but other than that, and definitely until my youngest daughter is settled, and after she graduates university and figures out what she wants to do. I don't think I'm going anywhere, but who knows? Yes. There are so many empty houses in Japan as there are editions of D&D. Yeah, there's a ton of empty houses. Just kind of a weird thing. Oh yeah, a lot of them can probably be very spooky because they're in the countryside and they're all creaky, wooden construction. And so if you have a Japanese ghost fetish, I'm sure you can come up with something. It's really it's a weird, it's a really unique situation. But so we will see. So some outgunned tomorrow. Hope everything internet-wise and everything will be good. What was I just thinking about? There's that's right, the options. What was that latest crowdfunder where I had to choose? I had to choose between alchemy or foundry. We talked about that last week, but there's some more of that coming soon. I hope alchemy gets their finished version. I've been holding off because I supported their Kickstarter or backer kit with their crowdfunding, and it gives you that 6-month membership to their their member tier, their premium tier. But I don't want to use that until the platform is finished, and so we're actually using it every week. It seems like a waste otherwise. Oh, Village of Dolls. Yeah, that sounds familiar. I'm not super acquainted with it, but doll culture in Japan is very strange. You can't throw dolls away. You shouldn't throw away something that's shaped like a human. I don't know if it's a Shinto belief. Maybe it is. It's older than Buddhism. I don't remember that from Buddhism. But anything that's in the shape of a person, you can't just throw in the trash. So you literally have to take dolls, and it's usually the antique, the older, ceramic and china dolls, the porcelain dolls. You take them to the shrine and have the priests and monks burn them in a ceremony. So because I guess that must be a Shinto thing, because they have some kind of spirit, and you don't want to throw something that looks like a human. I don't know the details of that, but that's a very funny thing. So I can imagine a village of dolls being very creepy, and maybe it's just a place where people leave old dolls because they can't throw them away. I don't know if that applies to plastic dolls and stuff. I wonder if it does, because you have to take your Barbies to the temple to be burnt. Crazy. But it sounds familiar. I'm not familiar with it. I know there's islands. There's a cat island that's in danger, kind of an island that's overrun by stray cats. But the caretaker, the mama-san of that island, is aging out, so the cats may be in danger. And there's a rabbit island that was an experimental lab for sarin gas or something in World War II. But it's the gimmick of the island. It has a ton of rabbits, but it has a ton of rabbits because that's what they were testing the gases on. And I guess after the war, they just released the rabbits, and the rabbits did what they do. Yes. Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, the purifying. Yeah, you wash dead bodies, and it's very, very much like that. But I forget I forget. But there's a museum of poison gas on the rabbit island. So whatever they were, developing on that island during the war, they made a museum for it, so you can go feed the rabbits and go to the poison gas museum. Yes, right. The cat island. It's usually Shima. It's Aoshima. But the cat island. So they just need a poisonous snake and a vicious giant spider island, and they'll be all set. What an archipelago it is. But yeah, that would be awesome. So back to Outgunned. And yeah, and we'll have to make some plans for what were we talking about for doing next? Oh, we were going to do Alien. That's right. We were going to do Alien around Halloween time. Yeah, I want to see the American group play some Alien, especially with the pre-gens. You guys did really good with the Dragonbane pre-gens. Like they all, the characters were just like, yeah, you role played them kind of automatically. And I think because the art is so good in those books, that helps a lot to inspire. But I think you'll do an interesting job with and I'm curious what roles people will pick, because there's pretty distinct roles. Nothing that directly lines up with the first or second movie, just kind of general types. Poison Gas Museum. Oh, that would be a great setting for a cult. Yes. Nice. Hey, Miguel made it just at the end. We're talking about poison gas museums and rabbits. Nice. Yes, that's right. We're an hour early. Oh, but no, Miguel's not in North America. I don't think Miguel is in North America. Nowhere. We're with daylight savings. But yeah, so what else? Yeah. Well, yeah, I was looking at that Household. The volume 2 for Household RPG looks really good. And just like, that setting. So the first setting is kind of you're confined to the house and the rooms of the house, the falling Christmas tree in the living room, the the overflowing bathtub in the upstairs bathroom. But this one is the wilds, so it's the garden surrounding the house, and then they add new races or species or whatever they call them. And there's an art book. There's going to be an art book as one of the volumes in this new set. But they do such nice stuff. It's brutal. But the import tax has been so nasty lately. I know I'm going to regret it, but it'll be months from now before I have to regret it. But that's good. And hopefully, closer to the holidays, people here will have some more free time if they don't have to travel and visit family. So maybe we'll get some games actually in person going here. We'll have to see. But yeah, that was good to get a chance to do Zone Wars. I'll post some of the post that as soon as I kind of get it broken up. I'm not sure what to do because we did a camera on each of us, but there's not much going on. Maybe if I did like little windows of our just our expressions, our reactions for stuff, that might be more interesting. But it's a multi-camera thing, so it's not fun to edit because there's going to be like 4. There's a dice camera too. So, which I don't think is going to actually be that good because we didn't have a good tray, so it's just a box lid, and there's not a good contrast. I don't think I can key out the color of the dice tray, so I can't we'll see. I'll play around with that in Premiere and see what I can get it to do. And unfortunately, there's no digital versions of the cards and things. So to pop up like the stats and things for the different characters or the effects in the Zone Effects cards and stuff, it's not going to be easy. They have the fonts, they have files for the fonts, and they have templates. They have blank templates for the cards. So maybe I'll just dummy up some of the, just some of the text. So I won't be using their art, but I'll just dummy up some of the text. So that'll pop up. So it'll look like, when the card's drawn, you can actually see what's going on. Yeah, that's frustrating. But I guess that's part of the thing. Why would you buy if you could just use whatever models you wanted? You have the cards, you have the rules. Yeah, you don't have to ever buy the game. That's probably why there's no digital cards. That's probably the last thing that most games want is digital versions of the cards that have basically all the rules and effects and stuff, because that's it. You won't need anything printed. All right. Politics related but relevant. Oh, nice. Oh yeah, there was that talk. I don't want to get too deep in apologies, but there was that talk of like America in the like mid 19th century, like didn't have, what was it, sales tax or whatever. They relied like completely on tariffs, or I don't think it was personal income tax. I think it was like sales tax or something. Go back to those days. That's a way to inspire. I mean, but yeah, American made, like American quality, American made stuff is really going to have to up its game if we're going to start like only doing domestic manufacturing and the labor problems. Yikes. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that would really suck if America starts this ball rolling. If everyone's like, "Hey, let's punish everybody trying to export their goods to us," and it just becomes this war of the most expensive stuff ever. Yeah, I heard that because of the import stuff, that the threat of import taxes, I heard that they canceled the electric car plant. Some Chinese company was going to do an electric car plant for North America, and they said, "Oh, okay, so America's going to be hostile to us." The wrench guy, watch out for Matt Hammer. Matt is not going to tolerate any bullshit. Yeah. I'm making your life difficult, Matt. Sorry. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, Matt's gonna just have to ban me. Just the screen goes blank. You just see a ban symbol. I'm gonna be kicked out of the chat. Yep, it's crazy. So we have the 80s. We have Indianapolis in the 80s to escape into. But yeah, there's some good stuff. I don't think does Household have a VTT that they're supporting? I don't think they do. Oh, for Foundry, yeah, they do. The system, is available on Foundry. Oh, that's cool, because they have you're rolling dice with the suits from cards, from playing cards on it. So it would need a some content. You couldn't just use a D6 roll. I mean, I guess you could, but a lot of the flavor of it, just like without Gun, a lot of the flavor of it is the symbols. Yeah, so Foundry has Household. What was the other game? Oh yeah. I was thinking of that's too old a game. Yeah, when I was thinking about my Psyworld stuff, I was like, oh, that might be something I have to build. It might be worth building it though, just because you can still get the game. So it may be worth learning how to do that for Foundry and actually building the system, at least the character sheets and the dice rolling stuff for Foundry. That would be fun. Yeah, right. Will be more 80s for Alien as well. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and I'm going to try. So this time I'm going to try. I was just responding to what the group seemed to want, but this time I'll keep the technology very limited to like the first Alien movie. So it's, much more, you don't know where things are, where. You just get micro fluctuations in air pressure, air density, or whatever their first motion detector detected. Oh yeah. It's really it's been really bad. Yeah, new Blade Runner in the spring. Oh, nice. That's right. The we'll have to talk about that if we want to give that a shot. See, because we've got two replicants. Two of the players are playing replicants, and there's one human, and we'll see if they can be seduced into supporting the replicant underground, or maybe we can resurrect the Perez's copy, the replicant copy, the bootleg replicant copy of Perez shows up. Yeah, right. Everyone's getting a tariff. It's gonna get It's gonna get messy if they start playing those games. Crazy. Yeah, I don't know why that suddenly became a thing. Maybe just because there are a lot of companies in Japan that are doing localization, Japanese localization for a lot of RPGs and stuff now. So maybe they, have some lobbyists or whatever that got them to defend that as a category, because there are certain categories of goods. So you don't want to try to import denim into Japan. Denim is very protected, and like rice and obvious stuff like that. But there's certain products in Japan that are heavily protected. So if you buy that stuff, if you buy a pair of jeans on an online store, and like Diesel or something online, and have them sent to Japan, they hit you with a big tax for jeans. And I think it has to be over a certain amount, and then it triggers it. Yeah. Oh, great. Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing we don't want to do, because Games Workshop is always like, they're like projecting 5 years in advance. It's like, let's raise our prices now, so when everything increases, tariffs and taxes and shipping increases in 5 years, we'll still be ahead. Yeah, they've got this weird future plan. Oh yeah, that's that would be fun. Yeah, you can play the that would be awesome. Yeah, because he's all specced out already. He already has stats, so it'd be easy for Matt to play that. So we could play full replicant. Yeah, because you already know he's connected to the underground. So I'm totally blanking on his name. The bald guy, the tall bald guy from our case files. And I totally played him annoying. I think he's supposed to be like really creepy and reserved, but I kind of did that thing when Harrison Ford goes backstage in the first Blade Runner movie, and like is doing his Humphrey Bogart, like he like switches into that nasally weird voice. I like tried to do a distracting character personality for that guy, because he had such an integral part, to just not want so the players didn't want to deal with him. The player characters didn't want to deal with him, and I think it backfired. Yeah, but that same thing, what movie was that? It was one of the I think Raymond Chandler, Philip Marlowe stories, and he goes into like a book deal, like an antique book dealer or something, and he like folds up the brim of his hat and like pushes his glasses down on his end of his nose and starts talking in a nasally accent, the Humphrey Bogart does. And so Harrison Ford does that same thing when he's like, I'm from the exploited performers and whatever, when he's talking to I almost had her name, but the replicant that performs with the snake. But I think that's totally what he was doing. He was knocking that off. Oh yeah, I think that would be really fun to have a more kind of seduced into the replicant underground, or just kind of have to go along with, or be like a double agent or whatever, just be infiltrating. And because that would be a really fun choice, and that must be in there because they know that tension is interesting. So you're kind of contacted by the replicant underground and asked to do something, and you can decide at what point you're like, all right, LAPD, screw all you guys. You're all under arrest. So we'll see how long Amor can go before that kicks in. Or Terry's character. I'm totally blanking. Darn it! What was Terry's character? It was only the one case file we played. Shoot, there's been too many characters. Yeah, or not Pris, the other female replicant in Blade Runner. Almost had it. I'm picturing that scene with their rotating heads, where they're running through the list of them. But it's the one where he she showers. Deckard goes backstage and showers, and then she figures him out pretty fast and chokes him with his necktie. Yeah, so we'll see. Single kill team box for the cheap price of $200. Yeah, it's funny. Bishop, thank you. Clarion, perfect. Yes, that's right. Bishop. That's right. Yeah, that might be fun. Because I think the case file, we're probably still a year out or so for the third case file. I think I'm more trying to convert the underground to upstanding citizens and retire the ones that don't. Yeah, exactly. All right, who's a tool here? Who's gonna stay a tool because they're going down? Yeah, that'd be really fun. Yeah, those characters. It's really funny. You guys have done so many interesting characters that I want to go back to, because it's not necessarily the setting or the rules, the game mechanics or the story or whatever that was so good. It's just like I want to see those characters again. I want to revisit those characters. That's the really fun thing of what's happened with the roleplay group, is we've come up with some really interesting, like, conflicted, enjoyable characters, and it's just fun to see them react to things. So yeah, I keep wanting to go back and make them do stuff. Yeah, it's really good. That'll help us. We got a few years of that. We got 4 years of consistent role play. Yeah. I really want to try out some Psy-World. I think too the system, if it's the 2d10 kind of percentile dice system, there might be already something kind of built for it, so it might be easier to play than possible. And that might be a fun world build too. We should have a group watch of scanners and kind of talk about. Well, that'd be fun to do that. Yeah, I'll put scanners on the Cronenberg movie and then just talk. Okay, what's our world going to be like? Is it this, or is it 70s North America, wherever they were supposed to be, Canada, or are we going to do something completely different? Just have that running in the background as inspiration, because there'll be a lot of kind of what would be fun to infiltrate, what would be fun to resist. Because if you go very sci-fi, then it becomes a weird, more like Logan's Run, or the X-Men or whatever. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the relationships evolving is fun. Yeah, Abyss, I think you're right. I'm still shocked that it's doing so well after the pandemic. But the crowdfunding kind of came back. It's definitely not like it was. Like, Come On doesn't do those, $4 million, games every year. But there's still a lot of $1 million projects. That's crazy. Yeah, it would be really fun. Yeah, I'd love to see what people come up with. And the rule set is really easy. It'll be, it's really small and easy to get a hold of, and the setting's pretty much up to us. So Psy-World would be fun. Oh man, but yeah, it's good to Bishop was Aliens Kale. Nice, Carolina. I still can't believe they. Oh yeah, if anybody hasn't, if Matt still hasn't seen, I can't remember if you've seen Romulus yet, so I won't spoil that. But yeah, I won't complain about anything that hasn't been seen yet. So who's going to go see Nosferatu on Christmas Day? I saw that release, the new is it Robert Eggers, the new his new movie, the remake of the old silent film. Nosferatu, the kind of Dracula retelling, is coming out on Christmas Day. I wish it was coming out on Christmas in Japan. That would be fun, because Christmas isn't really much of a thing here. But that would be fun. Yeah, but it looks really good. The trailers have been really good, and it's Willem Dafoe is in it, and then a bunch of, I think Johnny Depp's kid is in it. She's probably playing Mina. I don't know, but it's good. I mean, it looks really good. Oh yeah, good. Yeah, definitely. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, his stuff is great. If you haven't seen The Lighthouse or The Witch or any of his stuff before, those are probably worth a watch because you'll know like how like surreal and disturbing it'll get. Oh, cool. Yeah, I heard. Yeah. I remember seeing that was another made for TV, right? The original Salem's Lot was like a made for TV series or something. I can't remember, but I remember seeing that back in the day. Like It, I think it was the same kind of way they did It. But yeah, that was a Netflix thing, right? That was straight on Netflix. Oh, I've been watching on Apple. I've been watching Shrinking. My cousin recommended that, and I just like. It's an ancient Harrison Ford, but it's the guy that wrote Scrubs, and it's like streaming platform, so they can do really rough dialogue and stuff. So the dialogue between the characters is pretty funny, and a lot of really good surprise casting, a lot of really great character actors. I mean, everyone is so old, but a lot of surprising actors from like the 80s and stuff just keep showing up in the show. And originally I didn't like the premise because stuff said in LA, I'm instantly like, no, thank you. But the characters are weird enough and fun enough that it made it worthwhile. It really looks like they're shooting around Harrison Ford, though. I bet they do like a million takes because a lot of the dialogue is pretty snappy and he can't talk as fast as he used to and stuff. So I think he probably has to do a lot of retakes if he's too like laid back with his delivery. I think they need to, because you see some of the, reverse shot, like there's a lot of 2-camera stuff where they're obviously like his take from a previous he's going over because his mouth is moving, but he's not saying anything in the reverse shot and stuff. So I think they're shooting around him pretty hard. But yeah, I was surprised. It was pretty decent. Oh, good. Yeah, Matt likes The Witch. Yeah. So it has that really same. Or the Lighthouse maybe is even a better freaky example of that because that was like a Cthulhu movie basically. That was very disturbing. Oh yeah, miniseries in 70s. And one movie on Max. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll have to take a look. I didn't watch any horror stuff around Halloween. Yeah, I was still kind of burnt out from being. Oh, Penguin. Yeah. Right. Oh, good. Abyss got around to watching Penguin. Got to say, I'm surprised how many people were rooting for him. Yeah. It's funny they make him like. Yeah, they really. He just does a good job of being an unlikable, dangerous asshole. Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, they're doing a fun job with that. And I think there's one more episode left. But it looks like, it's going to be a real big showdown. The 8th episode will be a big showdown. And we know kind of the trajectory of that character. So even if he's like, being shot at and everything, we know, I mean, he can be injured, but he's not going to die. But it's going to be difficult to kind of escalate, once he gets to be like a crime boss status, like, in control of Gotham City. It's going to be weird. If he doesn't run into Batman. So I don't know what they're going to do. But it would be really cool if they just decided, okay, that first Batman movie, the Matt Reeves one, was okay, but it could actually be a series and we actually have enough money, to produce a decent looking streaming series. So why don't we just do a Batman streaming series and keep it kind of, detective and kind of low level, don't do any crazy effect shots or anything too over the top, and make it more investigative and stuff. That might be cool. Or if they just do like a season of a streaming series about a character and then a movie with that character, or kind of that's something that completes something, and then another series introducing another criminal or whatever. That'd be cool. A Catwoman series could be interesting, but I don't know. And it seems like everybody that's watching it online is like, I want Batman in there. So I think they might feel like pressured to do that. And then it's going to suck, probably. I don't know. I don't know, but it's fun. It's fun what they're doing because it's like a nice, mafia drama thing with a guy in a giant latex suit doing like a weird De Niro performance. Nice. When I'm ready to get the feel what people, I'm shocked by how many people loved him. Yeah, right. Forgetting he's a Batman villain. Yeah, they really do, like, they give him the underdog thing, and kind of you do get to root for him. His behavior is horrible, and he's such a scumbag. He betrays everybody constantly. But yeah, they do that job. So that's difficult when they set that up. He does have to get, and he is a Batman villain, so he does have to kind of get his payback, or his comeuppance. Something bad has to happen to him, but yeah, it's funny. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I guess though once he is, kind of like Better Call Saul. Like once he becomes Saul Goodman, it's kind of like, oh yeah, we can't keep doing this, can we? Like once he is the Penguin, I think the series is over, isn't it? And then they'd have to kind of do that again with another villain or another Batman character. I don't know though. And so many people have their favorite characters in like really weird, obscure, like more recent stuff that I think could be very uninteresting, because there's been all the DC stuff, and I don't want to, anybody that's a fan of the Arrowverse and Gotham and all that stuff, that CW stuff, that's great, but that stuff for me is pretty unwatchable just because of the level of the writing and stuff. So I hope they can keep that high level of production and good writing and interesting kind of tense character stuff. Yeah, once it gets to the level of the CW DC shows, no thank you. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, and it's and he's so like disgusting too. Like the performance is really good because the makeup effects and everything make him look really repulsive, and it's just funny that I think they're giving you, like, they're filling in enough of the blanks in his background that there's a lot of sympathetic stuff. But yeah, I'm curious, Matt. You got to check that out. I'm curious if you like the Penguin. Oh yeah, that's true. Because Matt's talking about The Lighthouse is one of those movies I love, but will never need to watch again. Yeah, it is kind of a journey, and when you know where it's going, yeah, it's kind of it's an experience. It's like, that was rough, but okay. Yeah, it's an interesting point. Oh yeah. Oh, I won't say anything bad about the CW Arrowverse or anything. Yeah, I mean, for superheroes on TV, for free TV, crap TV, it's probably as good as they're gonna ever do. But yeah, after seeing something like the Penguin, it's just like, come on, yeah, you could have done so much better. Yeah, that's funny. All right, well, let's wrap stuff up here. I think we're good. Oh yeah, that's right. What was that called? The Assassin's Creed, yeah, in the US. I'm getting it confused with other stuff that's set. Yeah, but I like the just kind of the ruthless motivations, and once you have sympathy for a bad guy, then it's amazing how much like bad stuff, how many murders and things, you'll tolerate because you're on their side. Carolina just lost a lot of respect for I'm sorry to bring that up. We don't want to expose anybody's guilty pleasures. Yeah, I was surprised how much Chris hated Farscape, that stupid Muppet show. I had to wait through to see Lex until Lex was on. It's funny. But yeah, so tomorrow for some outgunned, or yeah, we'll see. I think we have kind of confirmation that everyone's doing okay. But let's do this again next week, and yeah, check in for some actual play for outgunned tomorrow. An hour. Oh no, it'll be the same time that it was for me. It's an hour different. An hour later. But for you guys, it will be the same time because you changed your clocks. Oh, good. Terry's your favorite anyway. Yeah, you just like, it's not Terry doesn't do heel turns. Terry does like Boy Scout turns with his characters. That's great. All right. You guys are screwed because I'm gonna save the princess. All right. You know that one you were trying to kill? The one you're trying to poison? Okay, so yeah, see you guys again soon. And yeah, looks like notifications are working, so hopefully you'll see when we go live, and we'll see if we can wrap up some Indianapolis. We'll burn it all down. There'll be nothing left for the sequel. All right. Oh, cool. Yeah. Good stuff. All right. Yeah, I gotta watch the end. Yeah, it's been 2 weeks, so I definitely have to watch the previous session to remember where we're all at, kind of mentally. All right. Yeah. Thanks for everybody in the chat. Miguel, Carolina, Abyss, Matt, and our earlier and Orcus stopping by. Clarion, of course, and our early additions, and Rob. It's good to see you. And Hodag, Chris's illustrator, the Brighthammer illustrator, and James, nice. And our briny pal, your briny pal, not mine, your briny pal, early in. Yeah, good to see everybody, and we'll do this again next week. So take care and see you then. Goodbye.